All right, just to get us situated, it's June 24th, 2003. We're here in Detroit, Michigan, with 2 out of 5 Burden brothers, Lenny and Lawrence.
Yeah.
You guys were born and raised in Detroit?
Absolutely.
Born and raised.
And what are some of your what are some of your fonder memories of that time so far?
Well, it's a lot of interesting things about Detroit. I mean, that just the people themselves. I mean, it's real people. I mean, especially after going around the world and seeing a lot of different types of people, we can honestly say that Detroiters, they tell it like it is and they do it like it is. I mean, it's pretty much in your face. It's something that we actually appreciated, especially after encountering a lot of different types of individuals all over the place. And it's one of those places where it allows you to be yourself, which is really important.
You, Lawrence?
Oh, wow. Fond memories. I've had a lot of fond memories. And that make this city special for me is, like again, I think he said, it's just people, you know where you stand with people. You just right off the bat, and you meet them, and it's not a facade city where, hey, I like you because you know what, they know, they'll let you know right off the bat, hey, I'm not feeling your vibe, and we don't need to associate or whatever it might be, or you're cool, let's hang out. And it's just that kind of city. It's real cut and dry.
Yeah,
you know exactly where you stand with people, exactly where you stand.
You really, with it allowing you to be yourself, musically it allows you to explore, what you want to do, and you don't have to try to fit into a mold. I mean, I think that's what's special about Detroit techno, that, trying to define it is one of the most difficult things that, a lot of people have come across because, well, if this is a techno track, why is this a techno track, and why is this Detroit techno track? A lot of times the similarities are very, very vague, but they're all Detroit techno. So the genre is so big because the city allows you to just develop yourself, which is, it definitely encompasses the city encompasses a lot of different types of people, and that's why you have so many different types or styles of what is coined as being Detroit techno.
And you're not shunned for the style that you might like, Other places you might be considered weird. Hey, man, what kind of weird sound is that you're making here? It's just, hey, that's his vibe, man. And they get into it like you do, so it's cool. I mean, you can just create. You don't have to feel like, oh, man, I can't put this out into the universe because people are going to look at me different or whatever. It's cool. They don't care, That's the vessel you kind of just, vibing on, and they down with it. They're really down with it.
And now it's a Tuesday today, and Jeff called you on a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
To partake in this DVD project.
Yes.
What did he tell you at the time? What was your understanding of what you were going to be doing?
Well, the understanding was, he called and said, guys, I'm in a jam. Hey, what kind of jam are you in, Jeff? It's like, well, then he started to explain about the project. And I guess he must have woke up in the middle of the night and had, this great idea. It's like, well, I'll put a live act in there also, and it seems to be a great idea. Let's see if I can get somebody to do it. And when he called us, man, it was like, okay. He explained about DJing with the DVD, and realistically, when he explained the whole project, it just went over my head. The part that I understood was, I need you to perform live, you and your brother. We performed together before. Let's try to do this. I need you to do it for 10, 15 minutes in my set. I'm going to DJ for 15 minutes. I want you guys to, as if we were doing it live, come in for 10, 15 minutes, then I'll close out. I understood that portion of it. The bulk of everything else, it's this far-thinking thing where I didn't get a chance to really appreciate it until I came here and saw how everything was coming together.
So as far as working within that very short time frame, what was your working process? What was the preparation that you were able to do versus parts that for the live performance you knew from the get-go there was going to be a heavy improvisational part? But
oh, absolutely.
How did you prepare? Yes.
Well,
Just made sections of loops, you know. And actually, he was still making sections as we were setting up. He was still figuring out
Yeah,
there were
yeah.
certain rhythms that he wanted to put in.
realized a couple bass line didn't work, and this is all while we were setting up. The preparation was very, it was just not a lot of time.
Yeah.
And, you know, we definitely wanted to come with original material, not things that we've already performed before, you know, especially because we know the project is such a special project. You know, we wanted to fully contribute to it, you know, so, you know, we had, you know, just 3 days, 4 days to kind of come with just all new material, which really is not a lot of time when you're definitely dealing with, you know, working from scratch. You know, so prior to this, you know, we were able to we understood that we needed an intro from the DJ portion of it into our set, and we also wanted to have intros for each of the tracks. Those we had the opportunity of sitting down and really just working out the particulars for those portions, and then we just wanted to kind of just go into the track and just whatever happened, happened. And even with the intros, we were goofing around with the intros too, because as you're doing it, you kind of get hyped. I mean, especially after watching Jeff do his set, his 15-minute set, you know, we're getting kind of hyped, and, you know, it's like you just don't want things to just play. You got to manipulate it, you know, so we really got into just manipulating the different sounds.
Yeah, we actually kind of changed the intro as we went along as
Yeah,
well.
definitely.
You know, because it started out to be another way, and as we got into the vibe of what he was kicking, we just kind of gelled into what was going on and created something new off the cuff, you know.
So as far as that element right there, improvising the intros and things like that, now you had an idea when you were composing. I mean, you mentioned earlier that you performed together with Jeff, not quite in this format. You're familiar with each other's work. Did you end up starting to hear something and knowing specifically that it was going to be the Purpose Maker catalog that he was going to be DJing from? And did that, you know, was there a sound or a feeling or a story that you were thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, especially with the Purpose Maker stuff, I mean, it was actually, the material is very special to us. I mean, it was very ironic that he would ask us to be in this particular portion of the DVD project, because those particular records, I think out of all of the different, I mean, I've heard pretty much all the stuff that Jeff has done, even some of the hip hop stuff, but you know, it's something about those Purpose Maker records that had inspired how we made music because of how he manipulates, you know, samples and different sounds and stuff like that. And knowing that we're going to be in that portion of this DVD allowed us to even explore some more of a direction that Jeff had actually put us in, you know, years ago. And this time it's almost like, well, look, I have to do something that's going to, you know, go well with what he's done. You know, it's like, you know, you can't be Jeff Mills, but you can be yourself. You know, you can understand, you know, how he's manipulating things, but you have to do it yourself. I mean, it allowed us to take the information that he had already conveyed to us, especially with listening to his records. He's always giving you a message in his records, so listen to him enough, you'll hear it. You know, so you get that, and you want to be able to complement that. So that's what our whole mission was, to be able to complement that.
And you were saying that, you know, he sort of, it was, for you, it was an experience of feeling like there was information or there was something given in the past that you then have been working on for years, or working with for years. So what was it a particular story, or was it like?
Yeah, it's interesting enough.
Particular hearing?
We
Miami.
Yeah, we're in a music conference in Miami, and we're having breakfast. This is like early one morning, and getting up early for Miami is an experience in itself. I mean, because you're partying all night, you know, so you're getting up for breakfast about 10 o'clock. And we were having breakfast in this hotel. It was myself, Lawrence, and Mike Banks from Underground Resistance, Jeff, a couple other people. And Jeff was just kindly explaining, this is around the time when we really started getting into making the Purpose Maker record. I think the first one that he had actually done. And he was explaining how he was putting these records together. And as he was explaining it, you were like, I didn't realize you could manipulate all these different types of sounds and other genres of things and incorporate them into a techno record. I mean, it just kind of just opened up the entire world. It's like, well, you don't have to stick with this particular thing. I mean, you can actually take your entire musical knowledge and start to incorporate it into making the music that you make. I mean, it was it was like a light coming on. It's like, oh, it's like this. You can really go and just explore. I mean, especially if you have most of the guys in Detroit. In fact, most of the people that I've met that actually make techno music usually have a lot of different genres of music that they actually listen to. It's the special ones that you can actually tell that this person doesn't just listen to techno records. You can tell this person has some deep background as far as their music, and you can really hear that in the Purpose Maker records that there is definitely someone making those records that have a deep background in music, who understands music, who listens to a lot of different genres of music, and not just listening to the next hot techno record and trying to make it. So when he explained how he was making these records, it just took us to a whole nother level. It's like, man, you can really just take everything that you have and put it into making, your dance music. And so it just changed how we just took the whole direction of our Random Noise Generation project and just totally just switched it and just tried to incorporate our whole musical knowledge into making these records.